Welcome back to another episode of Across the Bifrost. This is Dr. Norbert coming to you from another plane of existence.
Whoa, that's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's my new look.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Jamie. I'm in regular New York, but behind me is that cool like Inception. They turned the film Inception into a superpower for the Doctor Strange movie.
Yes,
so I got a lot of that going on.
Did you feel a little cheated by that? It was like because
it was
Inception.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Inception. It seemed like they were using a trick that we've already seen before, kind of a thing. You know?
Yeah, there is that. But I mean, that film did loads. The first Doctor Strange film did loads of cool, unique stuff, right?
Okay.
Like so much. Like that was a real feat in CGI goodness.
In fact, didn't he meet Clea there in that film?
That's Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. He meets Clea.
Clea? Okay. Yeah, okay. What about what's her name? Magic.
Magic? Doctor Strange has never met Magic.
No?
Are you thinking Ancient One? He met Ancient One.
No. I'm talking about Magic, the Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo.
That's from New Mutants, that film that everyone's seen.
Ah, okay.
Definitely. Have you seen New Mutants yet?
Maybe.
Hey man, listen, that film's all right. It's not great, but it's okay.
But when did it come out? I mean, if it was like a decade ago, I wouldn't remember it.
It wasn't that long ago, but probably 5, 6, 7 years, I reckon.
Yeah, I saw all of the films. Let's put it that way. Pretty much. Except
I doubt you saw this. People don't know it exists.
oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Madam Spiderweb one on purpose. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And I didn't see the last Venom one, and I didn't see the Craven one.
Okay. People say the last Venom one's pretty good.
What? No, I heard they were crapping all over it.
It's not good, but like for a Venom movie, there's a bunch of symbiotes. That's cool, right? People that like Venom, they like a bunch of random symbiotes.
People are off their rockers for about the Fantastic Four film.
Oh, it's good. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, no, seeing it tomorrow.
All right, no spoilers. Yeah. It's brilliant. Yeah. I actually hate Fantastic Four and Superman. I hate Superman, and both those films have completely converted me this year. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you've seen them both now, and I really like Superman for the most part. Would you say they're equivalent in terms of their goodness?
I would say that, but that's because I started on a 0 out of 10 of care for those characters. So I'd say they're both as good as each other. They have similar vibes. I'm not going to say anything because it's spoilers. But
but I'm saying you wouldn't say like as excited or as good as you thought Superman was. Fantastic Four isn't like another step above that.
Nah, they're both good.
Both good.
They're both very, very good. Yeah.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, we've broken my number one rule I made when we said we'd start this podcast. I said I never want to talk about our own lives in this because no one came here for this. People came here for MCP. No one cares about the films we've seen, Norbert.
Well, I know
you're the internet personality of the two of us, but I'm not interested.
Always right down to brass tacks with you.
I want to talk about defense stats. I want to talk about reactive superpowers.
Box numbers.
I know.
Is
what I want to talk about.
Oh, okay. So real quick, we have to retire the Clammy podcast nomiker. Hannah has weighed in, and it was 2 votes against 1. We are no longer using that at all.
There you go. It was the Clammy podcast for those episodes only.
Okay. Yeah. I'm coming to terms with it, but but it's been hard. Okay, today we're going to look at the latest release that's coming out from Atomic Mass Games for Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is the Convocation Affiliation box.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this box actually does have a number. Just people want to take a look on it. The Dune box number is CP221, and we're going to be talking all about it. It's got 4 characters in it. The first 2 we're going to talk about today are going to be Clea and Baron Mordo. Tune in next time for Ancient One and Sorcerer Supreme, also known as Sexy Strange.
Yeah, Sexy Strange. That just means he's, Doctor Strange number 2, and he has a fancier cape, I would say, on that model.
That's true, but he does a whole bunch of different things than normal Strange. So stay tuned for that. But, we have news, an announcement. Ooh, actual announcement about the show. We're doing, let me do like the kids say. We're doing a collab.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you. I'm hip to the kids. So the collab is with Jarvis's Protocol, Dracane. Yeah. So what is Jarvis and us doing together, Jamie?
Jarvis first off, what is Jarvis Protocol? If you don't know about it, you should be using it for MCP. It's probably the best tool. It is the best tool for looking after your reading all the stat cards. It's what we use for this podcast. It's how you build all your rosters, and it does threat breakdowns. It has the timing chart on there. It's the best companion
Ecosystem.
app. Ecosystem.
Companion. Yeah, I like that. Companion app.
Companion app for MCP. So we highly recommend Jarvis Protocol. So now, if you go onto a character's page and do a little scroll down, if we've done an episode about them, you'll get a little link to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty cool, because all we ever wanted this podcast to be was basically like a library. It's what we used to use the old Across the Bifrost episodes for.
Yep.
Was when I start playing a new affiliation, I'll be like, oh, okay, I wonder what Across the Bifrost said about, Miles Morales. And I'll find an episode from like 2 years ago where they, reviewed them. So that's the whole point of this podcast. But now it's all linked on Jarvis Protocol. So if you ever look at a character and want to know more about them, have a little scroll down. If we've done them, there'll be an episode there.
Yeah, make sure you scroll right to the bottom of the page. It'll be like in a special section at the bottom. But just like you said, Jamie, it goes right to, I think it goes to the Spotify version. But if you don't like to listen on Spotify, at least you know that that episode exists. And so then you can scroll for it on whatever platform you're using.
There you go. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool indeed. I am super thrilled for that because I love Jarvis's protocol, as you know, and Drakane is a super cool dude, and we're grateful that he's decided to do this collab with us. So join in on the fun.
There you go.
Okay, cool. So let us get right into it. We're going to start with Clea. Clea, her name is Clea Strange. Okay, Lore Master Jay. What's the surname connection here? Woo.
So Clea, now I think I'm going to get this wrong, but basically Clea is an apprentice / lover of Doctor Strange. I'm not sure if she gets that name through marriage or if she adopts the name, because she becomes the Sorcerer Supreme after Doctor Strange dies in the comics.
Oh, okay.
So I think she might have taken that name on herself as like a moniker, or I'm wrong and they got married. But yeah, they've had some romance between them basically. But way more excitingly than that, she is the nephew of Dormammu.
Whoa.
That's cool, right?
It's a little scary, is what it is. Who's having affairs with Dormammu?
Well, no. So Dormammu has a daughter called Umar. No, hold on. Sorry, I've got it wrong around. I've got to get out. Let me get out the Dormammu family tree here. Dormammu has a sister called Umar, and Umar had a baby with Orini, and that was Clea. And it makes her half Faultine, which is like a magical race in the comics.
Whoa.
But yeah, pretty cool. So she's like super magic.
Oh, God, man, that is amazing. So no maiden name in your little source book there? Nothing at all?
Not in this source book, no.
No. It's a mystery.
But she does, so she obviously meets Doctor Strange when he goes to the Dark Dimension. But eventually, Clea overthrows Umar, her mother, and becomes the ruler of the Dark Dimension.
Whew.
So that's pretty cool.
It is. That sounds pretty powerful to me.
The Convocation affiliation is filled with some powerhouses. You got like Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo, and then you got Clea, who's in charge of Dark Dimension. There's a lot going on here.
Wow. Okay, that is pretty cool, actually. I didn't appreciate all that. Man, that'd be some good filming right there.
Yeah, well, she's also played by Charlize Theron, right, in that post-credit scene. So we're supposed to see Clea eventually.
Ooh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Although Marvel did just announce that not every character we've seen on screen is going to get a follow-up. So Clea might be one of those, but we'll find out.
Okay, she is not only in the Convocation, she's not only affiliated to the Convocations, but also affiliated to Defenders. And that'll be a theme, I think, in this box, which is really interesting. So we have to keep that in mind. Yeah. She's on a 35 millimeter base. And here are her stats. She is 3 threat, as I mentioned. She's got 2 physical defense, 3 energy, 4 mystic. She's got 6 hit points on her healthy side, 5 on the back side. She is size 2 and moves medium. So it feels like wizard stats to me.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Bad physical, good mystic.
Yeah, exactly. Too long. They're spending too much time reading books and not in the gym. That's wizard stats. You lose one of your physical defense, you get a mystic defense. Yeah. I think that's what this would be your stat line.
Yeah,
Robert. You're a doctor.
So.
There's a PhD show in there.
Yeah.
I know you do your stretches now, but you're not much of a gym goer, so you would be a 2, 3, 4, I think.
No, if it wasn't for my wife, who's more of like a Asgard princess, I wouldn't be in that gym either.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts? I mean, otherwise, it looks like 3 threat stats.
Yep, pretty good. I mean, the problem with mystic defense, is there's not many mystic attacks in the game. I don't know how often that comes up. But yeah, clearly she is a little bit susceptible to getting punched in the face, as most wizards are.
Yeah. Okay, cool. On the other hand, we do have to kind of get foreshadowing on a important tactics card that we'll talk at some point called the Ironbound Books of something
Shumagorath, yeah.
Which means that for 1 round, wizards can use their mystic defense instead of their physical defense. So, how do we feel about having 4? Pseudo physical defense occasionally.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably now's a good time to bring it up, actually. Yeah, there's a caveat there that these defenses aren't their all game because, Ironbound Books of Shumagorath, which we'll get to eventually, that gets played basically every game in Convocation. So, for 1 round or 2 rounds, if you're lucky, we'll get to it. They're not rolling those 2 physical defense. So, there's a caveat there. They're not completely squishy.
No. And having 4 physical then is pretty good, at least half the game. I think you're right. I think getting it off 2 times is probably reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's look at her attacks then. She's got 2 mystic attacks. So, you said there's not a lot of mystic attacks, but man, in this faction, there are loads.
I'm absolutely, in Convocation, if you're having a Convocation mirror match, that mystic defense is really going to matter.
Yeah, but it also means like all the stuff that you and I like to ignore with our 2 mystic defense characters that we like to use, because most of the time they get away with it. They do not. Against Convocation. It is bad times.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. We should caveat as well before we start reading that there's a reason why this affiliation box is at the end of our affiliation box series, because we're quite scared of these cards.
Yeah,
there is a lot of words. Convocation are, I would say, intentionally the most complex team in the game, which I think is brilliant, by the way. Very thematic. I love that all their tactics cards are like loads of words and you can barely understand them. I think that's very like wizardy. Props to Norbert. I tried to offer to read some of these cards and he's not having any of it. It's his job. So bear in mind that this is going to be quite a slog for us to get through these cards, but we're going to figure them out together.
And we're gonna we don't even come across. We're going to be completely transparent here. We don't come across these as opponents terribly often either, so we have very limited knowledge about them. I'd say they're super fun. I don't know why people don't play them more often. Maybe just because they're more complicated. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the stigma of, the tactics. Oh, no, hang on, I'm wrong. Sorry. I was going to say, this is the only team where the tactics card leadership doesn't take up a slot.
Yeah.
So actually, no, that isn't a stigma. I think they're just quite complicated. That's all,
I agree.
And there's so much they could do. And I think the Convocation players we know tend to be Convocation experts, right?
Yep.
They play only Convocation.
Yep.
Or they play Defenders, which is, mostly Convocation. So I think if you really love Wizards and Magic in Marvel and you want to commit, I'd recommend playing these guys for a long, long time because you'll keep finding new tricks you can do and you'll find new rulings and stuff. They're really, the juice is worth the squeeze here, I think. But you're not going to benefit straight away. There's just going to be a lot of cards. You're going to miss your triggers all the time when you first start playing Convocation.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, they're very complicated. But a very, very deep, well to get into if this is your vibe.
Okay, cool. And you have a whole box now, so you don't have to go looking for this stuff piecemeal.
What a bargain.
Okay, yeah. Okay, right. So 2 attacks, both are mystic. The first one is called Demon Claws of Danak. And they have great names, by the way. All these abilities.
Good luck pronouncing them all.
So the Demon Claws are range 3, 4 dice, doesn't cost anything, and this is a gainer for her. She gains 1 power after the attack is resolved with a Wild Bleed trigger. Okay. You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It's a gainer. Jumping ahead a little bit, it's the only way they can generate power from attacks.
Ooh, that's important, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get on to that. There's going to be a lot of power economy discussion with Clea.
Okay, but so we'll have to move on because, there's not much more to say about it. Bleed's nice, obviously. Her spender is called the Icy Tendrils of Ixalan. Ixalan is a range 4 attack now. Now we're getting somewhere. 6 dice, costs 3, so fair price for the spender. And got I was going to say a naughty word. I was going to make Hannah some work, but I'm going to say a ton, just a ton, not a ton adjective ton of triggers.
Yeah, loads of triggers.
Loads, thank you. So the first trigger is a hit, so that should happen fairly often, and it's slow, gains you the slow trigger. Then if you roll a wild and a hit, it becomes, you also get a stun. And then lastly, if you have a crit wild and hit, you get stagger. So, without dice fixing and things like that, though, I feel like that stagger is just kind of a nice to have, whereas slow is something you can count on.
For sure. Oh yeah, this is basic guaranteed slow, right? Basically, a hit on 6 dice. That's very, very likely.
Yeah.
So this is if you play this going for a slow, I think you'll be fine. You'll have a good time. And you might get the occasional stun. And then, maybe 1 every 3 games you'll get a stagger, and that'll feel great. But a range 4 slow Mystic attack is fantastic, by the way. Like, imagine that on web warriors that are running away from you. You just hit them with a slow from range 4. And
I like
the
that.
rest of you guys can go grab them. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Question is, how does she get the power?
Yeah.
That's a little tricky. I'm looking at the rest of her card. I'm not sure where else she's getting this from.
Let's read the card.
Now, listen, she's been one of the ones that got breathed on in the recent update. Isn't that correct?
I'd say it was quite a heavy rework, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, let's say rework. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, I was just making sure. She got worked quite differently. So if you think you know her, pay more attention now because there's a lot
I'm
going
reading
on.
this as if it's a new character.
Yeah,
She changed quite
because I'm not even
drastically.
bothering thinking about what she used to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's got a whole host of active superpowers. The first one is called, you were here, Lore Master coming in to play here, the Descendant of the Faltine.
Yeah, and now we know why. That's why you listen to Across the Bifrost for these sweet, sweet lore drops that I come up with 5 seconds before we press record. I quickly panic and find out the origin story.
You're motivated by terror. It's really good. You must have been in delight in school studying for your exams. Okay, this one doesn't cost anything. It's free, but it does cost an action. This character gains 3 power. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Nice. However, you roll 5 dice. If the roll contains any skull results, this character suffers 2 damage.
Oh, that's a lot.
This superpower can only be used once per turn. I should say so. Yikes.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. She only got 6 health.
Yeah. But 3 power, man, that means her spender's straight away online.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
We have to also remember power phase. So power phase, she's going to get 1. She's going to move up and hopefully attack somebody with her range 3 attack. So that gives her 2 power. And then, so round 2, the spender's already online. Possibly, just the spender. You can't do this Descendant of the Faltine and 2 attacks, right? Because this takes an action. So here already, you're into the complexity of this character. When do you do this? When do you just kind of grind out demon claws? So I don't know. Interesting. But it is a lot. That's a hefty price. Okay. Next active superpower, Ashtur's Mighty Hand. This costs you 3 power. Okay, so here you could use that Descendants thing to get you the power straight away. Choose an interactive terrain feature or an enemy character, both a size 2 or less, and within 3. And you can throw it short. Can only be used once per turn. Okay. Seems okay.
I mean, throwing enemy characters, pretty great.
That's the thing. I was just going to say, does the Convocation have a lot of that? I guess they have a lot of pushes.
Yeah, not many throws. This is Storm's throw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. For 3, does it cost Storm?
Storms cost 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from range 3, and that's quite a big deal.
Yeah, that is really helpful.
You find that Storm's attacks aren't amazing, and like Clea's Demon Claws, isn't amazing. So you might have turns where you just move off a point towards another one, throw someone from range 3 off another point, and then move back onto where you were. And that's quite a good activation for a 3 threat.
Sure.
I find. So I think
keep that in mind. That's right. Yeah. Okay. She's got another superpower called Vapors of Doramu. Oh, another lore connection here.
There
nice one. Oof. This is also 3 power. Choose this character or another allied character within 4. Place it within 2 of its current position. A character can only be placed once per turn. Well, that's handy. This seems handy.
Yeah. This, I think, is the reason people bring Clea. If you like to play what we call kaijus, if you like to play, single, very powerful models like Dormammu, hey, look at that synergy. Then a lot of people bring like placey characters for that to make sure that your big scary character that is the main event is getting the most out of their turns. So it used to be Lockjaw. Lockjaw can do that. But then people complain about Lockjaw because he then spends the rest of the game kind of not doing much, just being a dog. And then, Heimdall can do this, right? And who else can place people around? Man-Thing can do that. So there's a few teleporty optional people, kind of enablers. And Clea seems pretty great now because with Descendant of the Faltine, you can, round 1, you can spend an action, gain the 3 power, hope to not take damage, but it doesn't matter, it's round 1. And then you'll have the power to use Vapors of Dormammu to place an allied character within 2. Obviously, if it's someone like Dormammu or Immortal Hulk, that's fantastic because they're on large bases, so they go very far.
Yeah.
And then you have an action left to just go and walk up and stand on a back point. And you've got a power left, so you could pick up an extract.
Or pay to flip.
Or pay to flip, yeah. Which is pretty great round 1 turn. If you like to play that kind of style of game, where you have a main character that needs to do everything, Clea can help enable it.
I think that's a really good way of looking at her, Jamie. Thanks for that. She is a support piece, but also does some crisis work, which is actually excellent for a 3-threat, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
She actually, the more I look at her, the more Storm it feels. Like you don't really take Storm to be a leader most of the time, right? In X-Men, and Storm has a way of supporting the team by doing these throws, and a big part of Storm's play pattern is just being a 3-threat that can just stand at the back and hold an extract or soak up some resource. And Clea, can do that. Her big job is round 1 to place your big scary model further up the map, and then we'll get onto the next superpower. But she can kind of support in other ways throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah. I like this, and of course, as you know, you mentioned getting Hulk or Hulk up, kind of like one below all, really. But on the other hand, if you take somebody with a range 3 attack and move them up 2 from deployment line, I think they can double tap somebody on the midline, right?
Depending on base size, I don't think they can.
No. So
No.
the Sexy Strange would be well. He might even have a range 4 attack. I can't remember.
Yeah, that might be worth checking actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, think about it, people. Just do your homework on TTS. But I'm sure either if they have a range 4 attack or if they're at least a medium base, they can double tap the middle. That would be amazing. Yeah. So think about that. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. She's got one reactive superpower called Talons of Farala. Who's Farala?
Oh, I know this because Pentagrams of Farala is Doctor Strange thing.
Yeah.
I don't know who Farala is. Oh, I nearly got you on the lore drop.
Yeah. You got. I have faith in you. You're gonna cover this.
Farala was one of the mystic principalities entities invoked for power. Oh, so it's just a thing. It's just a word you say in spells.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, its dimension. Farala is it's a dimension. There you go.
Okay. They should make protein shakes named after this.
Farala. Yeah.
Farala protein shake.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 3 power. It costs you, as I said, it's reactive. When this character or another allied character within 4 makes an attack during the create attack dice pool step, you can use the superpower. The attacker adds 2 dice to its attack roll. And if that attack deals damage and the defender has a threat of 5 or more, after the attack is resolved, the defender gains the Judgment special contingent.
Oh,
wow.
Here we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Judgment.
Wow.
What does Judgment do? That is a rare condition.
It's a rare condition, and it's really nasty, especially on somebody like Hulk. Basically, you don't. It removes the normal rule that when you suffer damage from an enemy attack, you also gain power.
Yeah.
So if you're judged, you don't, and that's horrific.
That is absolutely crippling. The whole game is based around every character is balanced around the fact that when they take damage, they get power. Yeah. So you just switch that off, and it's awful. It's pretty great. And what I love about this as well, it also costs 3 power. So if you're not doing the whole Vapors of Dormammu stuff, teleporting someone up, maybe you descend at the 14, get your 3 power, move back onto a home secure. And then you just wait for the enemy, Immortal Hulk to walk up, and then someone else on your team moves up, makes an attack. You then use Talons of Farala to give Judgment out on round 1. That's huge because they're not going to want to shake it. Well, you hope, and then they're ready to just get beaten up, and then not get all that power for it. So that's pretty great, right?
Yeah, I agree. So she's clearly, sorry, let me just do the last thing she has. She has an innate superpower where she's immune to incinerate, which is fun.
Makes sense. She's got Dormammu blood.
Yeah, and helpful for her, flimsy stats otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like a support piece for the affiliation, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Actually, also in an affiliation that has quite a lot of support because there's a lot of healing going on, right? And you've got Wong affiliated as well. So, I think it's great. This
is then a different type of support, which is good.
Yeah. I think this is your offensive support.
Yes.
This is if you suspect to be in a fight, especially against, because remember they only get Judgment if they are 5 threat or more, and do 5 threats,
and do damage.
Yeah, and that So your opponent needs to have 5 threats. So if you're expecting to go against something big and scary, then you could bring Clea for that.
Yeah.
She feels like a tech piece, right?
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. There was one other point I wanted to make. Oh, so how do we feel about her in Defenders? Now, let's remind ourselves, Defenders has 2 leaders. One is Daredevil 1, which is a very close-in fighting type of leadership. So I'm going to exclude her from that conversation. I don't think that's totally helpful.
Sorry, most wizards don't want to be in a fight like Daredevil does.
Yeah. And then let me just look up regular Doctor Strange. His leadership, as a reminder, is once per turn after an attack made by an ally character is resolved. If the attack dealt damage or if the target character has a 5 or more threat, you can give that target a hex.
Yeah.
I could see that happening here.
I think that's quite good.
Yeah.
Because if they're not 5 threat, you have to deal damage. So Clea can add 2 dice to the attack to help push damage through.
Yep.
And then if they are 5 threat, and you deal damage, they get Hex and Judgment. That's crazy. That's really, really strong.
Very strong. I'm going to take a look now at their affiliation to see, can they fit them? Where's Defenders? Come on, where are you, buddy? There we are. Defenders. There's a lot of characters in Defenders. Do you see... does she get squeezed out, is what I'm saying, by other characters in here?
So I think you're right to point out she's a support piece, right?
Okay.
Then in Defenders, the only support pieces really are Clea and Wong, right? Everyone else there is kind of quite active. Man-Thing. Oh, good point. Man-Thing, yeah. So actually, she's probably in competition with Man-Thing.
Yep.
What Clea has is that she can do her place round 1 because of the ability to gain power. Man-Thing can't. So Man-Thing, it needs a lot of power later on. So I think if you're playing like Immortal Hulk Defenders, then Clea's the one because she can move up Immortal Hulk round 1.
Oh yeah, right.
That's really strong. I would hate to play against that, not gonna lie. But I have nightmares about Immortal Hulk, so that might be my bias showing. So yeah, I think she's in contest with Man-Thing and Wong.
Yeah.
But I think she's got a slot. I think she has a place. What do you think?
I agree. I think so. It'd be interesting to see if people have tried to work this out because there's a wealth of characters, as I remarked on before, in Defenders. And Doctor Strange, the new Doctor Strange that we reviewed, is still relatively new, and so is kind of still being explored by the meta. And so, interesting to see Clea as part of that build.
Yeah, big time. And very thematic, right?
Oh, it would be amazing.
Really cool. Yeah. There's also things worth shouting out here. Namor, he has to deal damage on his charge to give out stagger, so Clea can give him 2 extra dice to help push that damage through.
Yep.
Wolverine's charge counts wilds as double, so adding 2 dice to that could be pretty devastating. So there's a lot of little synergies around here.
Speaking of wilds, do you want to let everybody know what you did to some poor soul this past Saturday?
All right, fine. I don't like talking about my games too much, but this was pretty crazy. I was playing Curtis, a friend of the podcast from Cable's Conquest. Yeah. I'm fine with plugging that because there's no way he's going to tell this story on his podcast, so I'll tell on this one. He had completely destroyed me all game. I had no chance of winning. There was just, he had all the points. He had a robbery. This is a robbery going on. He had, can I borrow that with Quicksilver? He played amazingly with an amazing team, and I was playing stupid. What was I playing? X-Force with Gambit. And I was like, the only way I'm going to win here is if I kill all your models. So Gambit moved to a position where he could beam 3 people and then continue to roll nothing but wilds. Just honestly, 3 wilds per attack. And then I then paid 1 to turn into a wild. It was nuts. He one-shot King T'Challa, one-shot Sam Wilson, and finished off Rhino and won me the game. It was awful. Curtis is known. He's multi-award winning for best sportsman, and I think I got close to making him angry. But he was lovely about it, obviously. And I was like, "Hey, Curtis, you're a Gambit fan. That's cool that you saw that, right? Isn't that cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess that was kind of cool." So yeah, there you go. Gambit is an extremely high ceiling these days, and you can't be relied upon though.
but when it happens,
it happens.
you are a god.
He makes a name for himself.
That's a reference to his line.
Yeah, well done. There you go. Movies.
All right. Shall we move on to the next character in the box?
Yes.
Okay, so this is another 3 threat. His name is Baron Mordo. Baron Mordo is also known to his friends and family as Carl Amadeus Mordo.
Damn. There you go. Carl doesn't quite fit, does it?
No, with the Amadeus and the Mordo. He's also African-American looking, so I don't know, but he's a wizard, and what's he a baron of? So I'm very confused. I need to hear more.
Yeah, I don't know where the baron part comes from, but he is from Transylvania, which I didn't know. So that's interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Do they have a
Okay.
lot of barons in Transylvania?
At this point, anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been, so maybe that's the thing. Yeah, so he's from Transylvania. And is the name Carl very popular in Transylvania? Let's not look into it too much. So, yes, he, if you've seen Doctor Strange 1, you'll know this part. He trained under the Ancient One.
Yes, I do remember this.
Alongside
Yes.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah.
He gets a bit power hungry and, betrays people.
So do you think he started off as like an innocent guy, like a good guy essentially, and then just kind of lost his way along the way of training? Is that what happened?
I reckon so, yeah. You start doing all those spells and you're like, this is pretty cool. Imagine if I could do more. And then he goes a bit mad, doesn't he? Chasing power.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're saying he's a baron of a province in Transylvania. Is that correct?
That's my guess.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he basically is Doctor Strange's longtime, I guess, rival, nemesis. And he sometimes teams up with Dormammu.
Well, that's no surprise, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Also, worth mentioning, in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange visits another reality, and Baron Mordo is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Of
cool.
Of Earth.
Of Earth, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Woo. So his affiliations, you'd be not surprised to find out, is not only Convocation, but also Cabal.
No, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy, at least in the MCP is.
Yeah.
But he's on a 50 millimeter base. He's on a nice, chunky, medium-sized base. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Always interesting when you see a kind of a human level type of person on a bigger base.
Yeah, well, he's got those big old, skipping discs, isn't he?
Yes, that's right.
He's jumping off of. They're really cool.
So let's take a look at his stats then. He is 3 threat, as I mentioned. He's got 2 physical defense, 4 energy, and 4 mystic. He's got 6 hit points on his healthy side, 5 on his back side, size 2, and he moves medium. So quite similar to Clea, who's also a 3 threat, except he has 1 better energy defense. So he studied a little harder during the energy spell lessons, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that's what that is.
But wizard stats, essentially.
Yeah, wizard stats.
But a little bit better on the pay-to-flips, the energy pay-to-flips that are out there.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that does come in handy.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, otherwise, I don't think there's much more to say about this guy. So should we get into his attacks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, he's got 3 of them. He's been, like I said, starting very hard. All mystic, yet again. The first one is called Staff of the Living Tribunal. It is range 3, 4 dice, doesn't cost it anything, and it is his builder. He gets power equal to the damage dealt. And it comes with a wild push. If the defender is size 2 or less, before damage is dealt, you can push it away short. Well, that's handy, right?
I've just realized this is it's old Toad's tongue.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a spell. Which is kind of cool. But wild push is good. This is kind of, I find that, when Toad had this, I was doing this attack a lot when I had nothing else to achieve.
Yeah, sure.
And it's okay to just kind of hang back, wait until a size 2 character has done activating and then move on to their point and push and try to push them off. On 4 dice, you're not guaranteed. So not very reliable, but it can happen.
Yep. Okay. But he's got another one. This is the Bolts of Bishru. It is range 4 this time, also 4 dice, so it's basically a long-range attack. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a gainer this time. You get 1 power. It also has a wild trigger, but this time it's Hex. So that seems good. Makes him a very versatile package right now.
Yeah, range 4 gainers are great.
Yeah. You're right about that, actually.
If your activation is just like gainer from range 4, and then do some kind of superpower, that's pretty good, right?
If you're standing on a B secure, on the inside of the B secure, the range 4 covers all the way across to the other B, doesn't it?
Fairly sure it does, yeah. Mm-hmm. I will check as you read.
That's another TTS assignment for everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned in our Discord a new tool, not a new tool, but some sort of tool that has all kinds of measurements that you can, from the game, that you can, it's an app, like a browser app. Yeah, it's in the general chat. I should show it to you later. But basically, you can tell it, how far is this? How far is that?
Oh, that's cool.
Combination of things, yeah. Anyway, instead of firing up TTS, that might be a way to do it more quickly. Yeah. Okay. All right, so far, so good for a 3 threat. We're looking okay. Let's look at his spender. It's called Reigns of Ragador. This is range 4 as well, 7 dice, and it costs 4, so pricey. It has a ability called Burning Rain. After this attack is resolved, the defender gains the Incinerate and Poison special conditions. Okay, that seems good.
Yeah. That's real good.
Automatic. I can see why it costs 4 power.
That's
now.
why you're paying for it, right? It's range 4, you say, right? So
yes.
That's pretty great.
I think I've been put out by this attack more than once, to be honest with you. Yeah. Ah, gosh, because it's got you coming and going on these special conditions, in a sense.
Yeah, that's true. I think, it's very good. I mean, it's just the whole, we judge all spenders by the whole 373 sweet spot we've kind of found, right?
Yep.
Which is, that's your kind of standard spender, and anything above that is fancy and nice. So you're paying an extra power for 1 extra range and guaranteed conditions. I think that's very good. Very good.
I agree. So a bit of damage pushed through with the 7 dice as well, but so this guy feels like a little bit, so far, it feels like a little bit of a mixture of an attrition piece plus some control /
Yeah, it's
support.
kind of supporty attrition, yeah. We should jump ahead to Soul Barb as well while we're talking about conditions.
Let's do it then. It's an active superpower, costs him 2. Choose an enemy character within 3 with 1 or more of the following special conditions: Hex, Incinerate, Poison, or Slow. So he can give all of those except for the slow one, although Clea can. Hey!
Oh, nice.
Choose one of these special conditions on that character. Each enemy character within 2 gains the special condition. Ha! That's great.
Yeah, that's really good. Can you imagine that with a slow, especially?
Yeah.
Like if we're talking B maps, right? And Clea has just popped out a few slows, and then this guy comes in and goes, bang, everyone around you is now slow. Like if you're on a B map, you start to win that side just because they can't maneuver around as easily. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I agree about that. That's really good.
Spreading Incinerate, people love as well. That's fantastic.
Okay. His other active superpower is called Master of the Occult. It costs an action, but he gains 2 power. This doesn't cost you any power to begin with, obviously. It can only be used once per turn. Notice no damage potential for this.
Just 2 power for
Just 2 power, which means his Soul Barb is straight online.
Yeah. Well, for an action, but yes.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I mean, you can move once, do this, and then Soul Barb people. Wow. That seems another support aspect of this character.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's an affiliation, we'll get to it probably in part 2, but based around having big old Doctor Strangers, right? Big old powerful sorcerers. So you need these support staff around him to help him out. And I think this is great. Spreading Incinerate, ready for your big threats to come in and start hitting people is good.
Yeah. Okay. He's got 2 reactive superpowers. One is called Ferocity of Sidorak. That's the same as Juggernaut's thing, isn't it?
Avatar of Sidorak, yeah.
Who's Sidorak?
I don't know.
Is it a person? Is it a place?
I was going to say a god. I think it's a person.
Ferocity of Sidorak.
Yeah, it's a fictional character. Obviously fictional, sorry. It's a person, basically. It's a thing. They were banished to the Crimson Cosmos dimension.
Oh, it's a race.
No, it's just a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the Ferocity of Sidorak costs him 2 power, which again, he could theoretically do straight away. When another allied character within 3 of this character makes an attack, during the create attack dice pool step, you can use this power. The attacking character gains 2 dice on its attack, and after the attack is resolved, the attacker suffers 1 damage. It can only be used once per turn. So guaranteed damage on this one.
Yeah. I'll guarantee, you suffer damage, yeah.
Yeah. The attacker. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the attacker.
So it's interesting, right? They kind of he mirrors Clea, right?
Yeah.
Clea can spend an action to gain power and then hurts herself.
Yes.
And Mordo doesn't hurt himself, but he does hurt his friends by giving them extra dice, like Clea can. So it's kind of interesting, right?
Yes, very much so.
Very similar, but the effects are slightly different. So I've actually used this a lot. Can you figure out why I've used this superpower a ton?
In X-Men or
Weapon X?
Weapon X. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Where everyone's got healing factor.
Oh, yes.
Pretty great, right? So I take Baron Mordo, literally all he does all game is use Master of the Occult and then give out Frosty of Sidorak. Because X23 doing a 7 dice builder, with a pierce and a reroll, and then suffers 1 damage, and she just heals it off anyway. It's great. I use it on Weapon X, the character, as well. He loves an extra dice. So yeah, I've really enjoyed Baron Mordo for that reason.
This is fantastic, yeah. Within range 3 too. Okay, so you can stay pretty far back. This is fantastic. All right, he's got 1 more reactive superpower called Vaulting Boots of Valtor, which is kind of his trademark. He costs him 2, and then when this character is pushed, after the effect is resolved, you can use this reactive superpower, and then this character advances short. Note that doesn't mean he has to go back to where he was. He can go elsewhere if he wants to.
Any direction.
short. And he's got flight, innate superpower flight. So
Nice.
you can go literally anywhere you want, which is kind of like your idea you're talking about with those little plates that he kind of dances around on.
Yeah, I think that means this could be our Discord rule that we get wrong. I think that means that when you use vaulting boots of Voltor, you can advance onto terrain.
Yes, yeah. If you have flight or wall crawler, your advances have
All
that.
advances.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool. You know, if you're going to get attacked twice, you can't get out of range. At least you can run onto some cover or behind some cover.
Yeah.
And then you have cover for the next attack. So that's
break
pretty cool.
line of sight potentially.
Yeah, but obviously this is mostly for if you get pushed off a point by someone's second action, you can just walk back on.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty cool. So what do we make of this character? Again, he's an interesting one because it feels like he has some support aspects to him, but which is kind of dangerous to the attacker, but also can dish out a decent amount of damage. I don't know. I was going to say decent amount. I guess he can reach out and hit people, but the dice pools are quite small. It's more about whether he gets those triggers, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's more support staff, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that you're actually primarily using him to spread conditions around with Soul Barb. And, maybe conditions he hasn't put out himself, because there aren't many games I've found where Baron Mordo has 4 power to do Reigns of Ragador, to give out Incinerate and Poison, and then pay 2 to Soul Barb them. That's a lot of power. That's 6 power. Like, there aren't many. And once that's happened, he's probably been beaten up. So you're in a bad spot anyway. Yeah. I think actually his job is to give extra dice to the other characters on the team. And when the occasional condition goes out, probably applied by someone else, then he can spread it. So yeah, I think you should take Baron as a support piece for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, in the old days of Convocation, I found that he was always the one that people used to put the leadership card on. I don't know if that's the case any longer. Do you have any insight on that?
I don't know. We probably have to go over it once we hit the leadership card, but I suspect it's because you're fine with him standing at the back. Right, if he's range 3 from his friends, that's okay because he's given out attack dice.
Yeah. I played against him though once or twice now, and he, in Convocation, and he wasn't the one that got the card for some reason. Don't know why.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He's also on a medium base, right? So the leadership means something there because there's a place aspect to it. So he has bigger places than the other wizards.
Okay. Good point. What do we think about him in Cabal?
I mean, it's the biggest affiliation in the game.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. There's like 50 characters in it.
Yeah.
Sure, he is, good support. He can give out spread incinerates, which is good for Cabal teams. They usually want to punch stuff.
Yeah, add extra dice if they want to kill stuff, typically.
Yeah. Adding dice to Dracula is quite cute because Dracula can attack you back on your turn with an attack where he'll heal damage equal to damage he's dealt. So if Mordo hurts him a little bit, he doesn't care so much. He's healing anyway, so that's quite cute. What else is there to say here, right? It's just every character in the game's here. Omega Red's giving out poisons and he can soul barb them around. I don't know. Yeah, Cabal is a hard one to talk about. It's basically just pick your favorite leader, and then if you want a support piece that helps you kill stuff, Baron Mordo is affiliated. Clea is also good at this.
Okay.
What Baron Mordo doesn't bring, so I do think these guys are actually in the same category, Mordo and Clea. What Mordo doesn't bring is he can't move your pieces around. So I think you take Baron Mordo if you're in like a wide attrition where you don't necessarily have like a main guy, and you take Clea if you have a main guy. So if you have like your Immortal Hulk, you take Clea to help enable him. But Baron Mordo, I've taken Baron Mordo in Weapon X where I take like as many threats as I can. They're all 3 and 4 threats, and I think he works okay there. Because he's just helping everyone punch a little harder.
I like your comparison with Clea in terms of the type of support you're talking about. That's really helpful, actually. And so I could see a place of both of these guys being in your roster of 10 and then picking the right one depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, well, what we said at the top with Convocation, right? They really will reward you for understanding the affiliation. I think that taking Mordo and Clea also rewards you for understanding the game of MCP, because if you go against a Midnight Suns, you might be like, okay, they're probably going to bring Immortal Hulk, so I'll bring Clea because Clea can help, Hex Immortal. Oh wait, he's immune actually. That's a bad example. But if you think they're going to bring one big killer, I think Clea's quite good there because she can give out Hex and Judgment. It's Judgment for Immortal Hulk. That's good. Anyway, but then if you're against a team like, say, X-Men, you're like, okay, well, actually, they're not going to bring one big scary threat. So maybe judgment isn't a big deal. I'll just bring Mordo and make sure that my wider team is just hitting a little bit harder and, giving out conditions and stuff like that. But then you take Clea into webs because of the slow. I think basically this is what we're getting at. It's the depth of Convocation, right? There's so much you can do. They've got so many tools. Every piece in Convocation kind of feels like a tech piece. So it'd be really rewarding when you feel like you've picked it right. So I can see you having both of these guys in your 10.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let us move on to the 4 cards out of the 8 that come in the box.
All right, are we starting with Barn with No Doors?
Yes, we're going to start with that one, even though it's kind of out of order.
Deep breath. This is a double-sided card.
This is a big deal card because this is the Convocation's leadership card. As you noted, it doesn't take up a slot of your 5 tactics cards. It's unique in that respect. And so
I'm gonna do a little leak as well.
Ooh.
We were having a drink with Will Schick.
Yeah.
And I was complaining about the New Mutants leadership card taking up a slot. And he said, granted, this wasn't an official thing, but he said that in his mind, Convocation's leadership is the only card that should not take up a slot in the game. That's just their rule.
Because it's their thing. It's like it's part of what makes the affiliation it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool. I think it's really thematic that because I'm not a big Wizards fan in Marvel. So I only encounter wizards when characters that I like bump into Doctor Strange and he confuses them with loads of big words. So I really like that in MCP that they come up with essentially 6 tactics cards full of words I don't understand. So I think it's really cool and thematic. So yeah, there you go. That's probably a big part of why this doesn't take up a slot.
Okay, let us talk about it. It's got 2 parts to it. It's got some setting up text, and then it's got 2 different abilities. Let's put it that way. The bar with no doors. So basically, what it means is as I said, you pick it as one of your, not as one of your 5 tactics cards, but you do have to put it on one of your characters, which is a Convocation character of some kind. And you put the card with the leader. It's got 2 leadership abilities, so you put the card with the one that you want to use first, face up. And then from that point forward, every power phase, that character can spend 1 power to flip the card to the other side. And you know what, Jamie? I never realized it cost them a power to do that. I thought they just could do it.
Yeah, me neither. Have we been cheated out of that?
I'm going to pay more attention to that.
This is the problem with Convocation, is you can't learn their cards. So they have complete power because they've read their cards before. We haven't.
Because, sometimes you want that 1 power for something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bit more of a choice than I thought. Is I guess you have to pay for it to flip it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the one. I guess the one that I think people use more often first, which is called the Circle of the Cosmos. So this leadership is when an allied character suffers damage from an enemy effect. After the effect is resolved, you can place it within 1 of its current position, and the character may be placed by this leadership ability only once per turn. Bam. So it's kind of like a bump from Midnight Suns, but it's only if you've taken damage from an enemy attack. But let me tell you something, this is so effective all the time, because just like bump, people forget about it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. All those all these set plays and measurements that we talk about on this podcast, I'm if you move up to the midline, have a range 3 attack, you can hit the character, all this stuff. It all completely goes out the window when this leadership is online, because where you think you can hit someone twice, you hit them once, deal the damage, and there's a chance they can just bump out of range.
Yeah.
Or if you push them off a point, there's a chance they can just bump back onto the point.
Yep.
So it's infuriating. It's really hard to keep up with this. And also remember that we call it a bump. It's a range 1 place. Those get more effective the bigger your base is.
Yeah.
So you essentially go further. So that's why Baron Mordo, I think, was played quite a lot because he's great. He's got a medium base. I've also seen Lizard splashed in Convocation because you can do an aggressive extract steal. And then if they hit you and deal any damage, he's then placing backwards. It just makes him harder and harder to get to hit consistently. Everyone becomes a little bit like Toad.
He also helps during the midline grab situation, right? You be on just behind the midline, grabbing an extract, and then somebody attacks you, and then you bump back, and then the chances are they're not going to be able to hit you again. Yeah,
or throw terrain at you. Yeah.
Keep in mind, this works once per turn, so that means if it is your turn and some sort of reactive superpower damages you, right? Because it just is from an enemy effect, not an attack. You can use it on your own turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how often that happens, but it's probably even more infuriating because you're like, aha, I'm going to get you. And then he bumps back into something even more cool later on in his turn. Okay. So I see this side up 70, 80% of the time.
I think so, yeah. I think this is most of the leadership.
Yeah. The other side is called Moons of Munapor. When an ally character makes a mystic attack against a character without an activated token, it may reroll one of its attack dice. When an ally character without an activated token makes a defense roll, it may reroll one of its defense dice. And I think that's the issue, is that you have to remember about the activated token status in the first place.
Yeah.
Then it has to be a mystic attack if you're doing the attack part of it. And let's reroll one of your dice. That's a lot for one reroll.
So our ex, main convocation player, Maria, used to swear by this side. And so this was basically the whole leadership.
Yeah.
And I could never figure out, but she tabled me often. So I could never figure out why. But you're getting a bonus when you're attacking characters that haven't activated, which means you're more likely to lose prio. So you have to be careful with that. If you're going for that side. And then when one of your characters that hasn't activated is being attacked, they're more defensive, which means you're less likely to gain prio, I guess. But I don't know, maybe that's not really enough of a deal to worry about. It's a lot of words and a lot of thinking involved.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is probably the first part of this episode where it's gone a little bit above our pay grade.
Yeah.
And you and I maybe can't figure out when this should be used properly.
Agreed. The only thing I want to mention as well about this, it doesn't say this is limited to once per turn or anything. So if you make 2 attacks correctly, with all the other conditions met, you can reroll those dice each time.
Yeah, that is interesting. And beams too, right? Area attacks.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
You kind of, it's got to be a mystic attack and they have to have not activated. So that's the thing. Maybe that's like, because you flip this in the power phase, maybe there's a time where like you've got a character with a big area attack and you have priority and you're like, well, I'm about to do it into like 3 or 4 characters and they wouldn't have activated because you have prio. Maybe you switch to this leadership then and be like, bang, here's a big area attack where I reroll 1 dice for every attack. That's pretty great, actually. Maybe that's a good use case for it, right? Where you know you've got prio, so you know who's going to not have activated.
Yeah.
And then that character that's in the middle of everyone will then get rerolls because they have activated by the time your opponent gets a turn.
Yep.
So maybe that's a scenario.
Yeah. Similarly, if you've got somebody surrounded by enemies and they have priority, you get to reroll defense dice against them before you get going. So helpful, maybe.
Could be good. But also, obviously, remember, is it more helpful than bumping away?
Correct.
I think you need to look at the board state, right? I think this is probably like a round 3 onwards card. Side that you use.
I agree.
When everyone's kind of bundled together, right?
When I see this card, it's usually late game. You're right.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Because bumps become less effective the later on you go, because everyone's got power, so they're all charging and they're all doing all kinds of stuff, and everyone's in each other's faces. So a bump becomes less useful.
Okay.
But I think if you're playing Convocation for the first time, just stay on the bump side.
Agreed.
At first, until you get comfortable with it, and then start switching.
Yep. Okay. Next card up, we're going to just do in alphabetical order because they're all convocation cards, so that they are not attached to any character.
Sorry, quick one.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning on the leadership. Very sorry. It can be on any character. Any convocation character can be your leader. I tend to see this on, some people put it on Wong, some people put it on Mordo, some people put it on Magic. You want to basically put it on a character that's going to stick around for a while. I could see an argument for putting on Strange, but you don't want to put another target on Strange's back. If it's your big character, you maybe don't want it to go down too easily. Have a think about where you want to give the leadership. Wong might be a bad call because Wong can get KO'd quite easily. But, it's nice and flexible.
All right. Thank you for that. Good call. All right. The next one, next card up is Astral Ring. It's an active card. At the start of a convocation character's activation, it can spend 2 power to play this card. Place an allied projection token within 3 of the character. While that token is on the battlefield, this character cannot advance or be placed. Ooh. So you can't willingly move or be placed.
Oh, yeah. It's not cannot be advanced.
No.
It's cannot advance or place. Wow. Okay.
Or be placed, right?
You can't move.
Yeah. So that's weird. So you can't advance willingly, but if somebody somehow has an attack and attacks you and makes you advance, that's okay. On the other hand, you can't be placed, so your enemy can't place you, but you can be placed by your friends.
No. I think it's all turned
can't
off.
Be placed. Yeah, you're right.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing. No advance, no place from anyone.
All right. Amazing. Okay.
You can be pushed and thrown.
Yes.
So careful with that.
But what you get for that is you measure the distance of this character's attacks and superpowers from that token instead of this character. This character contests objective tokens as if the projection token was its base instead of contesting objection tokens normally, and then you remove it from the cleanup phase. So basically, you stay put, but you project yourself within 3 of where you're standing for both the purposes of using attacks and superpowers, but also for contesting points. Interesting.
It's pretty cool, right?
It is really cool because that means people can't push you off of it. They can't.
They can't interact with the token, right?
No, they can't interact with the token. It's just there being annoying.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Actually, a lot. I'm kind of imagining a character that's been displaced, at the end of a round, and they're off the point now.
Right.
So then in their turn, they go, right, well, I spend 2, put a token on that point. So I'm still over here in safety because you've thrown me off the point, far away.
Right.
But now the token's there in my place and I can still attack you and I'm still contesting the point and you can't displace my token. That's actually great.
Yeah. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
nothing else.
That's cool.
Can't be advanced or placed. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know how. That doesn't seem like that big of a hardship, considering that you're probably in some place in safety. Theoretically, you're in some place safe anyway.
Yeah, for sure. There's also, the fact that you're counting your range for attacks off this token. I mentioned earlier, Clea being quite good into webs that have run away. Right, she has a range 4 that gives out slow.
Yes.
With this, she can place the token range 3 away and then do a range 4 from the 3.
Yeah.
So you can actually probably put slow and do some mystic attacks on some unsuspecting web warriors, on the other side of the map. It's kind of cool.
It's wild.
Also, there's area attacks. If there's an area attack going on or a beam, I'm not sure how many beams there are in combo, but it's definitely area attacks. You can just, stay where you are, plonk this token down in the middle of a bunch of people and do an area attack from safety.
Yeah, for 2
really
power.
Cool.
Yeah, it seems fun for 2 power.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Me too.
I haven't seen this card before. Have you?
Again, only yes, vaguely, but that's again because I don't get to play against Convocation terribly often. Hopefully, the Convocation channel on our Discord blows up with this episode. We need some insights.
Yeah,
we need some tech, some dojo,
sweet tech.
Yeah. Okay. Next card up, third one of the 4, is called the Bane of Damballa. Damballa. It's a reactive card this time. After an attack made by an allied Convocation character is resolved, if the attack roll contained 1 or more wilds or hit results, it can spend 1 power to play the card. The target character and enemy characters within 2 of it gain the root special condition. Ooh, that seems good. Cool. For 1 power? That seems great.
Yeah. I like that it's a surprise as well. Because it's just any attack that has a wild or a hit in it.
Yeah.
It's actually, you can plan that a lot better and your opponent will forget you have this. So yeah, as soon as they're all, gathered around, you just go bang, everyone's rooted, Yeah. Pretty good into Apocalypse, right? If you root a bunch of horsemen, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Another good card. I'm going to suspect that Convocation is one of these affiliations where the trouble is they have too many good cards to fit into your 5.
Yeah. Thank God their leadership doesn't take a slot, eh?
You're not bitter at all.
It's fine.
All right. Third card is the Book of Cagliostro.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Cagliostro.
Reading this the other day. Here's an active card. You could choose a Convocation character, the chosen character, and 2 other characters. And notice they don't have to be Convocation ones. Within 3 of it, may spend 2 power each to play this card. Remove the activated token from the chosen character.
Hey, hold on. Slow down now. Remove the activated token?
Yeah, but there's a problem. There's a problem.
Okay, sorry.
Houston. During the cleanup phase, you may discard 2 team tactics cards. If you do, return this card to your available... Wait a minute, that's not so bad.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all.
You return this card back to your hand, essentially, and you can play it again this game. What's the downside here?
I mean, the restrictions are quite hard, right? You choose a combo character that's activated, and then 2 allied characters within 3 of it that each have 2 power. But still, that's not that bad.
No, you don't have to have all those. There's just you can use those. You don't need to have 2 more next to the chosen Convocation character. You can if you want to.
Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. The chosen character and 2 other characters. Oh, hang on. So the chosen character can pay for this themselves?
That's right.
No, it's everyone. It's everyone. So let's read it again. So the chosen character and 2 other characters within 3 of it may spend 2 each to play this card.
All right, so you're reading that to imply that it has to be
to make the card work.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I would submit that that's a little vague.
There's a little vague, isn't it, actually?
You
But I
know.
think that's the rule is like, if you can't do one line, you don't get the next line.
Yeah. I'm going to say the card's too good otherwise, that's you're reading it correctly. But I would say that could use a little English cleanup. But okay.
Yeah. So we're talking 6 power, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's paying 2.
And like you said, you need to have 3 people in kind of conjunction with the 3.
Yeah. Which without having, close secures anymore in the game is a little harder, but not impossible.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, basically you get 2 activations out of 3 characters. That's insane.
Yeah.
You get to pull this off. That is game breaking.
Yeah. And you can bring it back if you just discard 2 team tactics cards.
Yeah.
Which is a hefty price. That's not a joke,
Especially with the conditions. Are you going to be able to set up those conditions yet again?
Yeah, well, right. Imagine this happens to you, right? And you're like, it does what? And they put it off, and then Doctor Strange gets another activation in a round, and then they go, and now I'm going to discard these 2 cards to bring that card back so I can do it again. You're going to murder one of those people in the conduit and not let that come off again.
Think about this, though, Jamie. If you did this at the end of a round and dazed all these characters, then you, in the cleanup phase, you put this card back in your hand and you have priority next turn. That means you could do it again on all those characters you dazed and potentially knock them out straight away.
Yeah. It's pretty huge.
Whoa.
Oh, are we making a convocation player out of you? Oh, I can see your eyes sparkling.
Oh, man. I think I'd need 6 months to figure it all out.
Yeah, it would take a while. You like visiting new affiliations.
I do.
Let's give you your next one.
I could, maybe post WTC. Let's
all right, cool.
Yeah, call me again after the WTC. Or we'll make it a Patreon thing. If the Patreons want this, it shall be so.
God, that'd be so funny. Documenting your journey through convocation. Just like, well, game 5, and I forgot to play half my cards.
Wow. Okay. Last card to wrap things up. This is the classic.
Here it is. Woo! Here it is.
The Ironbound Books of Shumagorath.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're always going to
Shumagorath. I think he's a guy. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I think he's the guy at the start of Multiverse of Madness.
Oh.
He is.
Okay.
Oh, but they changed his name. Okay, it's controversial. You know the big octopus thing with the giant eyeball?
Yeah, that's on the card, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So that is Shumagorath, but in Multiverse of Madness, they called him Gargantos.
Oh.
Which is a cop-out. So we're going to pretend that was Shumagorath.
Okay.
So there he is.
I think so. I think if it looks like that, there's no way that's not the same character. Okay. It's a reactive convocation card. A convocation character may spend 2 power during the power phase to play this card. This round, when an enemy targets an allied character with a physical attack, you can choose to change the attack type to Mystic. When an allied non-grunt character is KO'd, after the effect is resolved, you can return this card to your hand, and it can be played again. So this is what we were saying earlier. This is a always taken card because it's so powerful. You can plan on seeing it come back. In the old days, it used to be grunts that could also trigger the card coming back in your hand, which is definitely broken. So they've changed that to being a proper character having to be KO'd.
Proper character. Grunts are proper characters too, all right? I will not hear that slander against grunts.
You're part of the grunt brigade, are you? You're the union rep for the grunts.
Grunts have rights too. This card's great, right? This card is an auto take, I think, for every combo player, for sure, because their one big weakness is that they don't like getting punched, and this helps them, take a punch.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're definitely going to see this, and it's a good card to take.
Yeah. And it highlights the fact, so they're two big weaknesses of convocation. Now, we've got a team tournament coming up, so everyone's aware of these weaknesses, especially me, because I have a convocation player on my team.
Oh.
They are susceptible to terrain being thrown at them, because they all have low physical defense, and Ironbound Books doesn't help them with terrain throws.
Okay.
And they don't like energy. Well, they're okay with energy. They have quite good energy defense, but Ironbound Books doesn't work on energy.
Yeah.
So for that round, if they just fry you with a bunch of energy guns, it's not going to matter too much. But then when someone dies, the card comes back.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And in fact, that KO can happen anytime during the turn. So if it's in play at any point, it comes back. You don't have to do any hoops or anything or having the round has to be finished or anything like that. It's okay to bring it back right away. Okay. Who's your combo player? That's interesting.
Oh, Charlie Trendle.
Oh, wow. He's going deep into... Ooh, okay.
We're trying to get... He's played Convocation for ages. We're trying to get him to dress up as a wizard. I've been trying to convince him to like hollow out like a wizardy looking book, and that's how he keeps all his tactic cards in.
Oh, that would be fun.
So we're working on that.
That'd be really good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jamie, we need clearly a lot of help to understand all this Convocation stuff. Where's the best place for people to tell us about their experiences with Convocation?
Oh, please go to Greenwich Village in New York and find the Sanctum. And come and... actually, you know what I'm doing right after this? I forgot. I'm gluing a Sanctum together.
Oh, cool.
I got hold of a Sanctum for MCP table.
I had a piercing done at a Sanctum. I did, but it was in Los Angeles.
It wasn't the Sanctum. It was the California branch.
Yeah.
Okay,
the outpost.
So no Doctor Strange there?
They're annex. No, but there are some people who could easily pass for creepy wizards.
Nice.
In the place.
There you go. Cool. So yes, if you want to help us understand Convocation, please go to our Discord and go to the Convocation channel. Tell us what you're doing there. I want to hear about interesting splashes, actually. I really like Lizard being splashed with that leadership, and I bet there's some cool, like, large base wannabe wizards that could go in there. That's pretty fun. So yeah, tell us what you're doing there. And also, we have a Patreon which you can help support the podcast on. It helps us, well, keep making episodes, to be honest. To keep the lights on, and kind of motivates us to make even more episodes. We've been going pretty hard recently. At some point, we'll slow down, but not yet.
It's been two a month right now. Of
Patreon episodes,
sweaty Patreon episodes.
Yeah, and we're planning like bonus episodes that come out for free for people as well. Working on one for, I shouldn't say, I'll jinx it. But yeah, it's going to be cool. So if you want to support us, it's only a few pounds a month, and you can go to there from the link somewhere in the description.
There's also a special Patreon only channel on our Discord where you can ask me where I got that piercing. If you're so inclined.
Do you still have it?
Well, theoretically, but it might be closed up by now. But the hole's there.
Wait, okay, right. I will know. No further questions.
No, leave it for the Patreons.
Yeah.
This is what they pay for.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Events. If you want to find out where a whole host of new European events have been added to our special 2-day, 3-day event calendar. So it is fresh with new events coming hot and furiously in for 2026. If you want to find out where to play a 2 or 3-day event in Europe, go to tinyurl.com/MCP events Europe. It'll be a spreadsheet, and you can take a look what's there. If your event is not listed there, just message us and we'll pop it in as soon as possible.
There you go. Speaking of real cool events, there's the Across the Bifrost Team Championship happening in January.
Yep.
January 10th and 11th. We're trying to figure out if we want to open up more space for that. We'd love to, but we need to convince the store that we can do that. At the time
of recording, there's only one spot left, one team left.
Exactly.
Just one.
So if you're interested, just let us know. We're trying to find out how many more teams are interested before we open up more spots. But it's in January, so come on, get your act together. You got ages.
And Jamie, did you see we got a Finnish team to come along just recently?
Hell yeah.
It's so cool.
There are more teams coming from other countries than there are teams coming from London. To a London tournament. What's gone on?
That's the beauty of London. Honestly, one of the reasons I stayed in this country was just how accessible London made the rest of Europe. It's amazing, the connections. So the people are taking advantage of it, and we're here for it.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning, I know that London is expensive and quite scary, but the dates that we picked, we've managed to find a weird loophole in hotels in London, and they're all quite cheap on those exact days. We did an event here last year, and everyone was like, oh my God, it was so cheap. This is great.
And
so
you can eat at any level you want. You can go super fancy, or you can just have some really cheap chicken and chips.
Or a meal deal. There's a Sainsbury's opposite. Go get a meal deal. If you don't know what a meal deal is, come find me. I'll show you.
Yeah. It was you helped me through my first meal deal, and it was... It was only £4.
That was a co-op meal deal. It gets better than that. Sainsbury's meal deal. That's where it's at.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I'm completely done.
All right then. Until next time. Cheers and happy gaming.